This is a huge issue. It's a silent mass disaster along the entire U.S.-Mexico border, in particular Texas.
Helping identify human remains is a huge learning opportunity for students, and their work is also helping national and international agencies in identifying missing persons. Last summer, 63 bodies were exhumed from a Brooks County cemetery and brought to the Freeman Ranch at Texas State. There, graduates and undergraduate volunteers remove any remaining flesh from the bodies, completely cleaning them up, and begin the identification process. The bodies arrive with personal items like clothing and jewelry, which are stored in an icebox for preservation. The department also works with Baylor University and the University of North Texas, as well as the Argentine Anthropology Forensics team.
We don't just want to box up a set of skeletal remains and then just send them back to the families without any supporting information.
These are the remains of a 30 to 40-year-old Hispanic male. The forensics team here at Texas State is hoping to identify him in order to be sent to his loved ones.
Once some of the characteristics needed are established, the information is then uploaded to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, or NamUs. The system is also helpful in reaching families in Mexico, Central, and South America. The processing of immigrant bodies would be too gruesome for the untrained, but for the forensic science students, it is a necessary task that they volunteer to do.
Some of these are very young individuals, and we don't have that many young individuals in our collection, so we can learn from that too, for aging and sexing methods.
None of the remains have been identified as of today, but the forensics team is working to ensure that all the remains can be given a proper burial with a full name on each grave.
Somebody crosses the border to come into this country. It's just wrong for them to be buried and never thought of again. Everybody deserves the chance of identification. We have human rights in life and death.
Reporting for Bobcat Update, I'm Isamar Terrazas. Spring is normally a wet season for parts of Texas, but most of the state has so far seen little rain. The Lone Star State has been in a drought for almost 4 years. The 2000 Halloween flood helped a little, but the impact was brief.
We're now back into the moderate drought category, and much of our Central Texas area, especially out in the hill country, is back in the severe to extreme drought category. So we've seen improvement in the last year in Central Texas, but we're far from out of the woods.
The flood may have provided some relief from the drought for a couple of days, but so far this year, Central Texas has only seen 2 inches of rain. With hurricane season right around the corner, KXAN meteorologist Jim Spencer says being hit by a major storm might be a good thing for Texas.
If we could have maybe a weak hurricane or maybe tropical storm come in just the right place on the Texas coast where it doesn't affect a whole lot of people, and then it moves slowly up into our area and maybe stall out for a day or so or continue to move slowly, we can get soaking, drought-ending rains.
Grasses haven't turned completely green since the period between December and February have been the 10th driest in 10 years, and March hasn't helped at all.
The city of San Marcos is currently under Stage 2 water restrictions, which means only scheduled watering is allowed. One positive result of the restrictions has been lower utility bills.
If we have to go out and find new supplies, it's expensive, and those costs will be passed along to the citizens. So it helps them in the long term, but then it also helps them in the short term because they're using less water and their utility bill will be lower.
City officials recommend cutting water usage even more if possible. Forecasters are already predicting what the summer season has in store.
I will tell you that the official forecast right now is that the drought is going to persist or intensify, is what the Climate Prediction Center says. It will persist or intensify between now and June 30th, and that is not good news.
Fines for breaking the Stage 2 water restrictions in San Marcos range from $100 to $2,000. For Bobcat Update, I'm Isamar Terrazas.
Walking down to the square isn't as easy anymore. Entire sidewalks are closed off and there's construction in every direction. Students find it more challenging to reach some local stores.
When the switchover happens and they start working construction on our end of the street, it'll probably, hinder us a little bit just because we'll be so hidden from your general view on the street.
Many local businesses are using this time to focus on other concerns.
Try to just stay active on the social network sites, try to do little sales here and there to drive in traffic.
Even with all the construction downtown, San Martians still seem to be coming out and supporting local businesses. Construction in the San Marcos area is projected to complete in the summer of 2015.
I think that they're going to beautify the downtown. I think a lot of new great businesses are coming in, and with, you know, better sidewalks and better parking and everything, I think it'll become more of a little destination. It'll be good in the end. Right now we're just suffering through the process.
For Bobcat Update, I'm Zach Harrow.
I moved down in '99, and I saw a whole town, college town, that was really rallying around this band. And from the outside looking in, it was really cool.
San Marcos has always just been San Marcos, and that's what I like about it. Nobody's, you know, there's no ego here, really. It's not trying to be Austin, it's not trying to be LA, it's not trying to be Dallas or New York. It's just its own thing, and it's humble. That's the word I would describe it. It's humble, and it's to itself. You know? Why not play in their hometown that they've supported you? It's just such a carefree. I don't get nervous when I play here. It's just like, all right, it's time. Come on, San Marcos.
I love Austin, and I love this area. I love Texas Hill Country. You know, but there are a lot of artists that are making their way down here, and there are a lot of producers and engineers, and
thank God.
I mean,
Awesome.
that are coming to Austin, you know, that are flocking here because it's a great place to be. They come down for ACL or South by Southwest or whatever it is, and they fall in love with it. You know, I think we were just lucky enough to be here first.
So your latest work, Sway, your latest album, it was released in 2013. What inspired that album and the lyrics?
Living differently, getting finally figuring out what the meaning of life is, and that's just not to be as crazy and into me and what I can get out of everything. I think I tapped into a place in the last 2 years that I figured out that, man, I'm so grateful for what I have in my life, and I'm so not into being number one on radio anymore, or I'm so not into being the coolest thing out. Ooh, you know, I'm so not into that anymore. I'm into what's best for my friends and family, and anything that comes above that is such a blessing. And just showering lyrics about that, and just reflecting on every single thing that's beautiful and important in my life, and letting the band have more say in the album. You know, that was huge. But it was such a weight off my shoulders when I could look at Matt and go, "You got any music?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." Instead of going, "No, it's me, it's me." You know.
What do you hope to bring to your fans with this new album and the tour?
That after almost 19 years of making music, that they walk out going, "It's about time that we can really enjoy ourselves and be positive." And I really hope that they walk out feeling that they're not limited to any emotions. That, wow, when they were once in here screaming and seeing us all angry, that now they can have a good time and still feel complete and fulfilled emotionally.
I think that if you're constantly chasing whatever's cool at the moment, you're trying to fit in with what's going on, I think eventually your luck's just gonna run out. One of the reasons that we're still doing this is that we just do what comes to us naturally, and what every time we make a record, it's a snapshot of that moment, and that's, so if it catches on or it doesn't, we're just being us.